The night I decided to divorce my wife was the same night I accidentally overheard a conversation that shattered everything I thought I knew about her. I still remember standing in the hallway outside the restaurant's private lounge, my hands shaking so badly that the papers inside the envelope nearly slipped to the floor. Divorce papers. Signed, dated, ready to end a marriage I believed had already died. My heart was pounding with anger, humiliation, and the quiet pain that comes from realizing the person you trusted most might have betrayed you. But then I heard her voice from the other side of the door, and what she said next stopped me cold. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to the channel if you believe kindness and forgiveness can change lives. Stories like this remind us that sometimes the truth is deeper than what we see on the surface. My name is Michael Carter, and for 8 years I believed I had the kind of marriage people dreamed about. My wife, Rachel, had been my best friend since college. We met during a volunteer event at a community shelter in Denver, Colorado, and I remember being struck by how naturally kind she was. She laughed easily, cared deeply, and had a way of making everyone around her feel seen. For years, life felt simple and beautiful. We bought a modest house in a quiet neighborhood, planted a small garden in the backyard, and spent lazy Sundays watching old movies while sharing bowls of popcorn on the couch. But somewhere along the way, things began to change. It started with small things. Rachel began coming home later from work. She started guarding her phone more carefully. Conversations between us became shorter, colder. I would ask about her day, and she would give one-word answers before disappearing into the bedroom. At first, I told myself I was imagining it. People go through stressful seasons. Work pressures, life responsibilities, exhaustion. Marriage isn't always perfect, but the doubts slowly grew louder. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. I didn't mean to look. I really didn't. But the screen lit up, and a message preview appeared. It was from someone named Tyler. The message was short, but it felt like a knife sliding between my ribs. Can't stop thinking about last night. I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath my feet. My chest tightened so hard I could barely breathe. I stood there staring at the phone as the sound of running water filled the house, wondering how the life I believed in could collapse in a single moment. From that day forward, everything felt different. Every late night at work, every secret smile at her phone. Every sudden excuse to leave the house became another piece of evidence in a painful puzzle I didn't want to solve. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I watched the distance between us grow until it felt like we were strangers living under the same roof. Eventually, the weight of it all became unbearable. One afternoon, I visited a lawyer. The words tasted bitter as I said them out loud. Divorce, separation, assets. The drive home felt like traveling through a storm inside my own mind. Part of me wanted to scream, part of me wanted to cry, and part of me just felt empty. I told myself it was the only logical choice. No one deserves betrayal. No one deserves to feel like they are second place in their own marriage. A week later, I planned to give Rachel the papers. I chose a quiet restaurant downtown where she was meeting some of her friends. I thought it would be easier in a public place. Less shouting. Less pain. But when I arrived, I saw through the glass window that she was already inside the private lounge with 3 women from her office. I hesitated at the door. And then I heard my name. Michael doesn't deserve this, Rachel said softly. My heart skipped. I wasn't supposed to hear that. One of her friends spoke next, her voice filled with concern. Then why are you letting him think you're cheating? You know he's hurting. I froze. Rachel sighed deeply, and there was something in her voice I hadn't heard in months. Not guilt. Not indifference. Pain. Because if I tell him the truth, she said quietly, he'll never forgive me for hiding it this long. My breath caught in my throat. Another friend spoke again. Rachel, you're trying to protect him, but this is destroying your marriage. There was a long silence before Rachel answered. The doctors confirmed it last month, she said. The treatment could take years. The hospital bills are already piling up. Michael has already sacrificed so much for us. I can't let him give up his dreams to take care of me. My mind spun. Treatment, doctors, bills. What if he finds out? one of the women asked gently. Rachel's voice trembled slightly. Then he'll stay, and he'll spend every day worrying about me. I know him. He'll give up everything to take care of me. My hands began to shake. Rachel continued, her voice barely above a whisper. So if he believes I'm the villain, if he thinks I cheated, he'll walk away and build a better life without me. The room went silent, and in that moment, something inside my chest shattered. All the anger I had carried for weeks suddenly felt small compared to the overwhelming realization crashing down on me. I pushed the door open slowly. Rachel looked up, and the color drained from her face when she saw me standing there. The envelope with the divorce papers slipped from my hand and landed quietly on the floor. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then I walked across the room and wrapped my arms around her. She started crying almost immediately, the kind of deep, trembling sobs that come from holding too much pain inside for too long. Later that night, sitting together in our living room, she finally told me everything. The hospital visits, the diagnosis, the fear that her illness would destroy the life we had built together. She had believed pushing me away would protect me, but love doesn't work that way. Months have passed since that night. The road ahead hasn't been easy. There have been hospital rooms, difficult treatments, and days when hope felt fragile. But we face them together. Because real love isn't about walking away when things get hard. It's about standing beside someone even when the future feels uncertain. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in second chances, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories like this. And here's a special request before we finish this story. Comment the words, "Love deserves truth," if you believe honesty can save relationships before it's too late. Life has taught me something I'll never forget. Sometimes the people we think are hurting us are actually trying to protect us in ways we never imagined. So if this story moved you even a little, leave a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and tell us where you're watching from. Your support helps keep stories like this alive and reminds people everywhere that love, even when tested, can still survive.